Hello everyone, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews for yet another video. Today's video is very special as we've not done this kind of collaboration in a few months, and we are brought here together by the movie Happy Gilmore 2, and here is the one and only truly amazing character we could have ever brought back to the channel. His name is
Ah,
Tom
yes, the
Dunkins.
one and only truly amazing character you could have ever brought back to the channel. Wow, that is an introduction right there. Yes, hello everyone. I am, of course, Tom Dunkins from the Team TMS / Market Talk podcast, and yeah, it is very good to be back on the James Ramblin' Reviews. Of course, we are recording Happy Gilmore 2, which finally came out after 30 long years. I've been waiting for this film to come out for 30 years, and I'm just so glad that Adam Sandler decided to make this film because, yeah, it is a good one. I'll just give it 2 thumbs up right off the bat.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Where do you want to start? There's so many ways we could take this episode.
It depends what way you want to go, James. Is this going to be a spoiler-free review, or are we going to have spoilers, or what do you want to happen, James?
I think we should give our thoughts on the movie, and then we can talk about the spoilers, like the cameos and all of that as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I just want to say right off the bat, I just completely loved every second of this film, honestly. Like, it is almost better than the original. I'm not even exaggerating. This was, like, such a good film. It was just funny from start to finish. Even, like, the name Happy Gilmore, whenever they mention the name Happy Gilmore, I just laughed. Like, I don't know what it is about the name Happy Gilmore, but it was honestly such a great film. But when this movie was announced, I was originally quite skeptical of it, like, because Happy Gilmore 1, the original, was pretty hard to beat. So when I found out they were making a Happy Gilmore 2, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't such a good idea. They really better not mess this up. But they did not mess this up. This was almost a perfect film. There were a few things sort of wrong that I'll speak about later, but for the most part, this was just such a good film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What did you think about this film, James?
I actually quite enjoyed it as well, because I remember that when they released the trailers, it looked like it could be like a fun sequel, and turns out that it really was a fun movie. Very
Yeah,
funny,
I was
a
just
lot of
praying
scenes.
to the gods above that they would do this right, because if they didn't do this right, if this was like just a mediocre 6 out of 10 sort of movie, I would just that would not be good at all. But this was a very good. I want to say a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm just so glad that they did all the right things with this movie here.
Do you think it's better than the Minecraft movie, or do you think it's like,
Oh, I
just
don't
as good or
know.
whatever?
That's a good question right there. The Minecraft movie's pretty hard to beat. In terms of just overall storyline, I think it's pretty, probably about the same, to be honest. Pretty equal. But in terms of the cinematic experience, it's pretty hard to beat the Minecraft movie, because when you're just watching like a Netflix movie like this was, it's not, you can't really beat just going to the cinemas and watching a movie like the Minecraft movie, because that was just such a like community experience, like how everyone was just sort of cheering with the chicken jockey scenes and all that. But with this Happy Gilmore 2, obviously it was just released on Netflix, so it wasn't as good of a cinematic experience as the Minecraft movie. But in terms of like storylines and acting and all that, it's pretty equal, to be honest.
Well, that sounds good to me.
What about you,
I'd
James? What do
actually,
you
yeah,
think is better, the Minecraft movie or Happy Gilmore 2?
that's an interesting question right there.
They're both very
Uh,
unique in their own ways, I'll just say that, but both very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are some similarities
But
to the
yeah, it's
films.
pretty hard to beat the whole cinematic experience when it comes to the Minecraft movie. Like, there's never been anything like it. Well, I suppose there was the Minions Rise of Gru. That was a pretty big community thing when everyone came to the cinemas wearing suits. So and then there was the whole Barbenheimer sort of thing. So every now and then there is just
Yeah,
sort of this trendy movie thing that goes on. But yeah, unfortunately, there was nothing like that with Happy Gilmore 2. I kind of just wish they did release it at the movies, because it's a big thing. Happy Gilmore is just such a staple of an icon. So, like, I just wish that it was
yeah,
released at the cinemas, but can't always get what you want, I suppose.
At the same time, Adam Sandler does have a deal with Netflix where he can just release all his movies onto the platform.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose, and I suppose he would get paid more if he made these movies on Netflix, I suppose.
So yeah, we thought the movie was quite funny and enjoyable. So do you want to start off with one of the very first things that happens in the movie where Happy Gilmore ends up killing his wife with a golf ball?
Oh god, that's right, yeah. That was a very interesting thing. Basically, the whole outline, just a very brief outline of the Happy Gilmore 2, is that he basically, after like 30 years, he becomes a dad and he accidentally kills his wife by like hitting her with a golf ball. And then he just becomes an alcoholic and he gets all depressed and he quits golf. And then, like 15 years later, his daughter basically needs money for her like college tuition fees. And so basically the only way that Happy Gilmore can get those fees is obviously by doing golf. And at first he's very skeptical. He's like, no, I promised myself I'll never go back to doing golf. It's what killed my wife and all that. But eventually he gives in and he rejoins into the like golf championship. And then basically later, there are a few other things that happens in between, but basically later on he competes in this maxi tournament, which is like this ultimate golfing sort of thing with these crazy sort of golf courses with windmills like making the balls fly around and all that. So that's basically just a very brief sort of outline of Happy Gilmore 2. It's really not that hard to follow. You don't really need to watch the first movie to understand what's going on in Happy Gilmore 2. There are definitely a lot of references, which might be a bit confusing if you haven't watched the first one. Because I watched this movie with my girlfriend, and she had watched the original Happy Gilmore, but she didn't really remember much about it. So she was a little bit confused about some of the references, like about the like Kiss band character, like standing out front of his grandma's house or whatever, because obviously in the original, like Happy Gilmore's grandma dressed up as Kiss to like make Happy Gilmore feel better and all that. So she didn't really get those little sort of references there. But in terms of the overall sort of storyline, it's really not that hard to sort of follow along. Like the first like 10 minutes or so might be a bit confusing with all the references and how it just sort of carries on from the original, but once you get past that, it's sort of just a very basic storyline. And there are a lot of flashbacks, which I did like in the film. So yeah, that's basically the whole storyline, really.
So yeah,
I mean, Happy Gilmore is
well,
just such a like basic concept. It's basically just like this ex-hockey player that discovers golf and then he competes in this tournament against Shooter McGavin and all that kind of thing. It's just a very basic story.
yeah, Eric Andre was quite good in the movie.
Oh
And the
yeah,
movie
no,
just
that was a very interesting cameo. Because I have watched every single episode of the Eric Andre show, and I just love Eric Andre, but I'm not really so sure about how I feel about him being in Happy Gilmore 2. It was definitely a surprise. But the thing about it is, I feel like it's better if you just have more unknown actors in these types of movies, because it was sort of just like, you know that it's Eric Andre, but he's got a different name, and he's playing as this like mediocre sort of golfer, and it just didn't really work for me. But maybe that's just because I'm such an avid sort of Eric Andre fan. The average person wouldn't really know who Eric Andre is, but for me it was just sort of very out of character to see Eric Andre as this like golf player. It didn't seem right. But no, most of the casting was fine. They had all the OG cast, like obviously they had Adam Sandler, they had Ben Stiller, he came back, which is good. They even had Eminem in there, which is a very interesting thing.
Yeah, Eminem was quite funny in the movie as well. You know what, as well, I didn't actually expect them to show like Bobby Lee and what was that other guy, that comedian with the ginger hair? Forgot his name, but I didn't
Bobby
expect that
Lee.
because
I,
they
I
didn't
don't
show
even
that.
know who Bobby Lee is, to be honest.
Because there was a scene in the movie where they were showing like these dudes in a podcast room, and one of them was Bobby Lee, like
Oh,
the
that's
Korean
right. Yeah,
guy or
oh, the
whatever.
podcast thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and they even had
Yeah,
the Hot Ones podcast. That was
yeah,
interesting.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, they didn't have the
Oh, that's
Market Talk
unexpected.
podcast or the James
Yeah,
Rambler
they didn't.
reviews. Imagine that.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, maybe one day.
It could have been good.
Yeah,
But anyway,
as well.
I did
There's
like the
one
sort of
very
what were you saying, James?
one thing I actually liked about the movie. It was like a repetitive joke, but for some reason it just kept being funny to me. Where like Adam Sandler has like beer and alcohol and every living thing that he
Oh,
touches
that's
and
right.
stuff like that, like in
Yeah.
the few chapters and
No,
everything.
every time that happened, I just cracked up. Like there was such a like, it's just like a random sort of a touch, but very very funny. Like the first one was some cucumber when he was working at a supermarket. He just like cracked open the cucumber and started drinking out of it. Then there was like a salt and pepper shaker, and then there was like one of the golf balls he cracked open. So that was a very funny little
Yeah,
touch there.
yeah, it was.
And also, Happy Gilmore's Happy Place. You know how in the original film he had like the happy place he went to where he had like his grandma drinking beer and like his girlfriend or whatever holding a bunch of beer and that kind of thing. But in
Yeah, and
the
it's his
sequel,
wife.
like he was basically like sitting on the toilet watching this funny like video about some animal swirling around or something, and then like this doctor came in and she was holding up a sign saying
Yeah,
low cholesterol or whatever. So that was pretty funny. Just the like middle aged version of the happy place. There
yeah,
was just
I
so
suppose.
many like funny moments. I was just laughing from start to finish, honestly. So yeah, honestly, I just really liked just all of the OG sort of touches. Like they had the OG soundtrack, that Tuesday's Gone song by Leonard Skinner. That was good, and I really just loved all the references back to the original film because, like I say, there were quite a few flashbacks which I liked because before watching Happy Gilmore 2, I had not watched the original in like maybe 3 or 4 years. So the flashbacks definitely did help sort of refresh my memory of the original film. But like I say, you
Yeah,
don't
they do
really
actually
have to have watched the original movie to know what's going on because it is a very straightforward sort of a storyline.
Yeah, if I do remember right, they actually Adam Sandler does like a voiceover monologue when he talks about like what happened before and what's happening now or whatever. So it brings you up to speed quite well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Nah, that was good. Yeah, about that monologue, I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed, but he seemed very, like, depressed when he was reading the script. Did you notice that? Like, in the opening scene, he just seemed like this really depressed sort of guy? But I suppose it makes sense because he did, like, kill his wife, so it
Yeah, I
goes with the
suppose so.
story, I guess. He's just this depressed sort of alcoholic for a while there.
Yeah,
And then, like, John
there's
Daly is
also
living in his house, which I found strange.
yeah, there was a lot of golfers in the movie. I
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah, there definitely was. The only sort of weird thing about this whole movie was the whole maxi golf tournaments like thing, like the ultimate golfing thing. I just found that whole thing a bit like just a bit corny. Just the ultimate golf, how they have to like get the golf ball through all these windmills, flying the ball around, and like it was just a bit corny. I feel like they should have just stuck to the like just normal golf. Like, I don't know what this whole
Yeah, and I
maxi
mean,
golfing thing is. Like, it sort of just feels like they're trying to appeal to younger audiences who have like low attention spans or whatever. They're just trying to make it more exciting. Like they're just
yeah,
using
I
all these
remember as
bright
well.
sort of colors and all this action sort of stuff going on, and it just didn't really do it for me. I feel like they should have just stuck to normal golf, really.
If I remember right as well, there was like a concert during the maxi golf scene or whatever, on that part of the movie.
There was a what?
That was kind of crazy.
What was there?
Like there's a bunch of characters. There's a bunch of characters like singing on a stage. If I remember
Oh,
right,
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I just found it
like in
kind of weird that they are trying to turn
the
golf
concert.
into this like just this action-packed sort of like eventful sort of thing. But golf isn't like that. They should have just stuck to the original
Yeah,
sort of normal golf. They just sort of ruined
yeah,
it a bit there. That was the only sort of bad thing about the movie that I could think of. It was just a bit corny how they tried to implement all this maxi ultimate golf sort of stuff.
yeah. And I remember as well there was like this. joke where this guy would just say, "That's what she said. That's what she said."
Oh.
I found that was quite funny.
Yeah, nah, that was pretty
There's a lot
funny.
of
I'm
jokes
not
like
usually
that.
a big
Maybe
fan of those
I,
types of that's what she said sort of jokes like Peter used to do. Remember that, James? I'm not really a big fan of like that kind of stuff, but it was pretty funny, like, you know, because it's just such a like expected thing. Like when everyone started cheering and stuff, it's just such a like, you know, like he says the "that's what she said" joke, and then there's like a 2 second pause, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, "Hey," you know. So that was kind of funny. I do like those sort of moments there.
yeah, that was quite funny as well.
Honestly, there's just so many funny moments. It's just so like packed full of these funny moments that I just forget most of them. You know,
Yeah,
like
there was a
literally, I
lot
was
going
just
on, wasn't
laughing
it?
from start to finish. It was just so good.
Yeah, and then there's this whole thing about like Ben Stiller. He has like this thing where he's trying to get like people to drink alcohol less, and
Oh, that's
Adam
right. He's
Sandler
the
like the
yeah,
characters or
because
whatever,
yeah, Happy
like
Gilmore has to
like
go
the
to like
al
some sort of Alcoholics Anonymous sort of thing, and then it turns out
yeah,
the host or whatever is Ben Stiller or Hal Lee, who used to be the like
yeah,
caregiver at the retirement village for Happy Gilmore's grandmother, and this Hal Lee character is just such a like douchebag. He basically the only
yeah,
reason he even does these like alcoholic anonymous sort of courses or whatever is so that he can get like these people to like do his chores for him, like wash his car and stuff. So it's pretty funny that they like reintroduce this character. You know, he was a
yeah,
very good little addition. I will say that. And I'm
yeah.
glad
He
that they
turns
did
out to
actually
be like
bring back Ben Stiller for that role. You know, Ben Stiller is just such
yeah,
a good actor.
yeah. He's quite funny in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. He was a
Like
very
he
he had
comes
a
off
very
like
goofy style, I will say, like with the hair, like with the ponytail and all that.
yeah. And I just noticed as well that a lot of Adam Sandler's friends were just showing up in the movie as well. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah. Yeah, I noticed
like
that. Yeah, like there's this one guy,
like
he's Adam Sandler's friend. I don't know what his name is, but I swear he's in all of Adam Sandler's movies. He's that guy that has that like those big eyes sort of thing. I don't know what his
oh
name
yeah.
is.
There's like not sure as well.
But yeah, he is in every
I
single
think
Adam
one of
Sandler
them is
movie.
dancing it.
Honestly, though, I'm just looking at these reviews for Happy Gilmore 2 right now, and like, it's got currently a 3.7 star rating. I don't understand that at all. What do people have against Happy Gilmore 2, honestly? Happy Gilmore
Don't
2
know.
review 90s comedy gets a
Actually,
new pair of Tims. Happy Gilmore 2 feels like an Adam Sandler charity special. What?
don't know.
Honestly,
Yeah,
like I don't really understand these people that are just so miserable all the time about these sequels, you know, like they go on about how it's all just a big cash grab and like, you know, I just don't understand that. Like if you don't want to watch Happy Gilmore 2, if you think it was a bad idea that they made Happy Gilmore 2, then guess what? Don't watch it. No one's forcing you to watch
yeah,
it, you know? But yeah, I'm honestly
yeah,
just so glad they made it because I'm not one of those people that just, you know, hate on these movie companies when they make all these sequels and that kind of thing. If it's a good movie, then, you know, like, I'm not going to be against them making a sequel, you know? I'm honestly just so glad they
yeah,
made it because it was very risky. I will admit that. When I heard they were making a Happy Gilmore 2, I was like, you know, I don't think this is a good idea. It's pretty hard to beat the original. But this Happy Gilmore 2 almost did beat the original. That's how good it was. Um, but yeah, it was a very
Wait a minute,
risky
I just
choice, but it did pay off. And if you're one of those people that just don't like Adam Sandler or think it's just some big cash grab, just don't watch it, honestly. That's all it is.
I I think who we're thinking about, who we were trying to talk, like, see, we were talking about like the guy with the big eyes. I think you were talking about what's his name, Steve Buscemi, and the other guy's Rob Schneider.
Yeah, I honestly don't know the names of all Adam Sandler's friends, but they always just appear in all of his movies. It's pretty funny, to be honest.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Steve Buscemi's like sitting with John Daly drinking like sanitizer or something.
oh, that's right, yeah. No, but as I was
That
saying,
was
I
pretty
really
crazy.
just don't understand these
Like,
people that just hate
Like if I
on
remember
Happy
right,
Gilmore too, you know?
yeah, I remember it now. Like Steve Buscemi, the golfer John Daly, they're like sitting on the couch with like big sanitizer bottles, watching Love Island or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Nah, yeah, that was
A
pretty
lot of
funny.
crazy
And
things
then
like that. It's crazy.
that was when Shooter McGavin like escaped the mental institution or whatever, and
Whatever.
then the lawyer's like, you are technically an escapee from a mental institution, and then the guy behind him on the couch is like, welcome to the club, and then he just like takes a drink of hand sanitizer. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, honestly, there's
There's a
just
lot of
so
stuff like
many
that. In it.
moments like that. I could just go on and on.
Yeah.
This is probably the funniest movie I've seen, probably since the Minecraft movie, to be honest. Which, to be fair, wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so as I was
if it's a
saying,
comedy movie.
do you understand what these people are talking about? Like these stupid reviewers of Happy Gilmore 2?
Well, see, to be honest with you, that for a while the critics always hate Adam Sandler movies, but the fans always enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly. These critics just really
Yeah,
need to learn to get a
like
life. Just enjoy the movie, you know? Even
I have a
even
soft spot for the
the audience rating for this isn't that high. It's like 67%, but the critic rating is only like 63%. I just
yeah,
really don't understand these ratings, honestly. Just enjoy your life, you know.
yeah,
Just stop trying to be so critical of everything. Just enjoy it. They're just trying to pick out all of the
yeah,
like bad things about the movie, but they just need to sit back, relax, and just take a laugh, you know.
yeah.
If you don't like Happy
I mean,
Gilmore 2,
the
then
crit,
guess what? It's not the end of the world. It doesn't ruin the original movie. It doesn't take away anything from the original Happy Gilmore. You know, if you don't like it, then just don't watch it again. You know, it's not the end of the world.
yeah, exactly.
I honestly just don't understand these people. What's
Yeah,
this guy saying? We get some light chuckles and one off jokes, but the story, with bones to be genuinely gripping, flatlines thanks to an onslaught of half assed gags and cameos. Oh,
uh,
God. I do not understand these people. There are laughs to be had
yeah,
here and there. The good news is the sequel isn't terrible, it's just not anything special, nothing with the spark of the original. I sort of somewhat agree with that. Like, it's very, very hard to beat the original. Like, even within the first, like, 2 minutes of watching Happy Gilmore 2, I was like, nah, this isn't as good as the original, but it's still pretty close. But it's almost impossible to beat the original Happy Gilmore, honestly. Happy Gilmore is just the
yeah,
best Adam Sandler movie, in my opinion. Adam Sandler is just such a good
yeah,
actor in general. A lot of people just hate Adam Sandler. My mum just hates him, like, to his core, you know, but I don't understand what people have against him. Like, all of his movies are just so funny. The one exception is Little Nicky. Have you watched Little Nicky, James?
no, but I think I saw. Isn't Ozzy Osbourne in that movie or something?
He might have been. I honestly didn't even finish that movie. Like, that was just such a bad movie. That is the one bad Adam Sandler movie I can think of, honestly.
Like I remember there was this clip where there was Ozzy Osbourne eating a CGI bat or something like that from the movie. That's all
Yeah,
I
no, it
don't
was
think I've
just
actually seen the
such a
movie before
wacky
though.
storyline. Like, a lot of people, you know, you can probably come to enjoy the storyline, but me, like, it was just too out of this world. Like, I could not just grip my head around it, you know. It was basically about this guy that was, like, living in hell, is basically the whole storyline of the movie
Alright,
there, and I just could not get my head around it, you know. It was just too unrealistic. And that's the one bad Adam Sandler movie I can think of. It's the one that I just could not watch the rest of, you know. I stopped watching after about a quarter of the movie. It was that bad. But
I don't
apart
think
from
I've
that,
ever
like,
seen it
all of the
before.
other Adam Sandler movies, I don't have a problem with, you know. I just love Adam Sandler. You know, Billy Madison, um, 51st Dates was good. I could just go on and on, you know. It's just such a
Do you
good
think
actor.
we'll see a Do
Huh?
you think we'll see a Billy Madison too at some point?
Oh, hopefully, because that was all. That's probably the
Yeah,
second best Adam Sandler movie, to be honest. Billy Madison.
Yeah,
I
because I think
honestly am hoping
despite
they
the,
make a Happy Gilmore 3, honestly.
I
Like,
think
Happy
it's actually
Gilmore
doing
2
pretty
was
well
so
for
good.
Netflix. A
Just
lot.
as.
I've seen a thing where like
Huh?
I actually seen this thing where like a lot of people are actually watching Happy Gilmore too, so it's already became a success for Netflix already. So
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, just as long as
yeah,
they don't run the franchise into the ground, I think it's going to be fine, you know. As long as they don't make, like, six
yeah,
Happy Gilmores, you know. Like, just, you know, maybe make a third one, but then just call it quits at that, you know. You don't want to be running these sort of franchises into the ground, because with this kind of thing, with Happy Gilmore, like, there's not really that much else you can do with it, you know.
yeah.
Like, what else can you do with this, like, guy named Happy Gilmore that plays golf and, you know, is this arch nemesis like Shooter McGavin, you know? What else can you do with it?
Exactly.
I also did find it a very heartwarming thing that Happy Gilmore did reunite with Shooter McGavin, and they actually became best friends, you know? I found that to be a very
Yeah.
heartwarming sort of touch in the movie. Unexpected, but, you know, it worked. So,
Isn't he the same one that ate the massive pancakes in that hotel or whatever?
what, the pancakes?
Yeah, I think it was some guy like he escaped the prison and then he got like a hotel and he had pancakes and stuff. I don't know if it's Shooter McGavin or some other character in the movie, but I remember that being quite funny as well.
Oh, I don't even remember that, to be honest.
Yeah, there is quite a lot in the movie that could probably forget that that was even in the movie to begin with.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's just so many of these types of moments in this movie that I've probably forgotten like half of them. You know, it's just funny moment after funny moment, which is really what you want in a film. You could, you know, be all like, oh, there's too many funny moments. It just makes it all like overwhelming, and the jokes don't hit the same. But for me, like, I was just laughing from start to finish, and that's what I want with a movie. You know, I don't want to just be sitting there watching some depressing drama movie. I want to be actually enjoying myself. You know.
Yeah,
I'm just honestly so glad that Adam Sandler just took the risk and made this movie here, because, like I say, it was a very risky choice. There's so many things that could have gone wrong here, but he just did everything right, you know?
yeah,
And I was watching this Adam Sandler interview, and basically the interviewer was asking Adam Sandler why he hasn't made a Happy Gilmore 2 until now, and basically the reason was Adam Sandler didn't want to like mess it up. He only wanted to do a Happy Gilmore 2 if it was like perfect, you know? And this was almost the perfect movie. He didn't want to disappoint the fans, which I found very, very good of Adam Sandler. So yeah, there's not really much else to say about the movie really. It was just so good, honestly. I'd definitely give that a 9.5 out of 10. What would you give that Happy Gilmore 2 there, James?
yeah. Probably like 8 or 9 out of 10, something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add,
Basically,
James?
so the reason why I said it's about an 8 or 9 out of 10 is because of the maxi golf bit. Like it was a bit too random and crazy, but
Yeah,
apart from that, it's quite a good movie.
yeah, that's the thing. I just feel like they should have stuck to normal golf, because it just sort of felt a bit too saturated, if that makes sense. Having like all of this maxi ultimate sort of golfing stuff, it was all just a bit corny, you know. It sort of just made it feel more like a
Yeah,
children's movie. It made everything sort of overexcited, and just, you know, having these golf balls flying all over the place, and it was just a bit
and then
unrealistic, to be honest.
and
Like, you
then
wouldn't really have, in real life, you wouldn't have this sort of tournament, you know? That's not what golfing is meant to be, you know? It was just all a bit unrealistic. So that sort of took away a bit from the movie. And there were just a few other things, like the whole Eric Andre thing, that I wouldn't have made that casting decision. As much as I do like Eric Andre, it was just not the best casting choice, in my opinion. And just a few small things like that. There was nothing major, but overall, it was just a very, very good movie. And honestly, I just wish that they released Happy Gilmore 2 like in the cinemas, you know, because it's just not the same experience just sitting in your living room watching it, you know.
yeah,
And that's what I liked about Beetlejuice, the Beetlejuice sequel, because they could have, you know, released that onto Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever, you know, but they chose to make it a cinematic release, which it's so much better. They should have done that with Happy
Yeah,
Gilmore too, but never mind.
yeah,
So anyway, I think that basically sums up everything I wanted to say. There's really just not much to say about it at all. It's just, I enjoyed it from start to finish, and, there's not really much else to say. But while
yeah.
I'm
We've kind
here,
of
I
covered
will
everything.
just pitch my Market Talk podcast. If you're the type of guy that's interested in branding and marketing and investing and all that, then go ahead and subscribe to the Market Talk with Tom Dunkins podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. And that is where you will find me. But if you're not interested in
Yeah,
business, then don't even bother, because you're just going to be bored out of your brains. So just don't even bother.
yeah, yeah. I'll link it all down. I'll link it all down below in the video anyway.
Yep, all right. Yeah, well, we do weekly episodes, so just come along. You never know. You might be you might find an interest in business. You never know.
Yeah,
Have you been watching my podcast, James?
yeah. I listened to it today.
Oh well, that's
I
good.
noticed that you have a new intro or something. Has that been in the work? Has
Yeah,
that
I've
been in the
sort of been
previous
trying
episodes
to
as well?
change up the format a bit, because I've also been trying to do like shorter episodes, because like when I started my podcast, I was like, okay, yep, I'm going to start doing hour-long episodes. But the thing is, no one's like watching the whole full hour. Usually people stick around for like the first 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm trying to just
Yeah,
decrease the length of my episodes to an average of like 20 minutes. Because no one's sticking around for the full
make
length.
it more.
Everyone just gets bored pretty
Make it.
easy. That's what TikTok has done to everyone. It's just lowered everyone's attention span. No one can watch the full 20 minutes. What is the world coming
Yeah,
to, I tell you?
I don't know. AI's
So,
taking over.
so yeah, I'm just trying to change the format a bit. So I've just changed the intro a bit, and instead of using that AI sort of American voice, I've just used my own voice, because I'm trying to also like appeal to the New Zealand sort of target audience a bit more, and I'm doing a lot more sort of
Yeah,
New Zealand related content. Talking about New Zealand companies or whatever.
yeah. You talked about Zero or something on the new
Yeah, I
one.
talked about Zero accounting software. I talked about Fonterra. What else? Gallagher. There's a few others there.
Yeah, Catmandu or something, wasn't it?
Kathmandu, Macpac, all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, I thought I'd change the intro, because I don't want to be having some American Yankee sort of doing the intro when it's like a New Zealand sort of a show.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
anyway, I think that can
Is
basically
that
wrap
it?
up this episode here. What do you think, James?
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, are you going to do your little outro, James?
I hope you all enjoyed this review and stay tuned for more like it. And that has been us and the James Ramblin' Reviews. Goodbye, everyone, and have a good day.
Yep. Peace out, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.